So out of this, I want to look at 5 things about riches and humility that Moses brings out of this text. The first one is the purpose of the desert. And we'll see that in Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 1 to 6. The purpose of the desert. The purpose of poverty. Why you don't have as much riches as you would wish to. There's a reason. And Moses tells them, God did not just take you round and round for 40 years in this wilderness for no reason. There was a purpose. God had a reason why he took you round in the desert for 40 years. And he says the wilderness experience was actually a tool or a school of humility. God took you round and round in the wilderness so that he can teach you humility. And he says, in the curriculum in this school was hunger. People were hungry so that you can know what it feels like to be hungry. But because it was a school, he also provided manna. He ensured their clothes did not wear out. He ensured that they did not just fall sick 40 years. And he took care of them during that 40 years of wilderness. This is what he says in verse 2. Remember how the Lord your God led you all the way in the desert these 40 years to humble you. And number 2, to test you. Number 3, to know what is in your heart. Whether you would keep his commands or not. That was the purpose of the wilderness. So God was not just wasting time. 40 years. I think that's the longest school that anybody has ever attended. Most schools are, I think the longest now is 8 years. Is it 8? The CBC system, what is the longest? It's 9 years. It's 6 years. It has been reduced. As we did 7, then the following people did 8. Now it has gone to 6. You people are very lucky. Now in God's school it's 40 years. 40 years. Including tests. If you thought that it's only the school that give you tests, God gave them tests. And he said, in order to humble you and to test you, in order to know what is in your heart, whether or not you would keep his commands. Then he says, verse 3, he humbled you, causing you to hunger, and then he feeds you with manna, which neither you or your fathers had known, to teach you that man does not live on bread alone, but on every word that proceeds from his mouth. Why did God have to teach them and to train them in this school? Because God knew and God knows that riches without humility leads to destruction. Before, he could entrust them with abundance, which is described in the next section. He had to train them so their hearts may remain humble even when they get riches. He had to train them on how to live in plenty and how to live in want. He had to train them how to share with one another. He had to train them and train them and train them. It took 40 good years. And so he comes and says, the 40 years in the wilderness was with a purpose. And the purpose was to train you.